Hey YouTube, working in a tiny house today. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to be installing this Dickinson furnace. It's a wall furnace to heat the tiny house. It's called the Newport. Ordered it out of Canada. It comes with this unit, this first section of pipe, and then it also came with a roof termination piece. I have ordered separately because of the height of the tiny house. I had to order this extension right here to get out of the ceiling, and also this AC adapter, 12-volt adapter. I have plumbed my wall for gas, the propane tank. And then I'm going to install the unit here, and it will come up through the roof up there. So that's what this project's all about today and tomorrow. So I'll do a rough assembly, see what my total length is. This is a double wall pipe that has a metal spacer in between to keep the center pipe from being too close to the outside. It will fit on these fitting right here. That slips right on. It's over on both sides. Nice flush fit here. This is the extension that I ordered. If you're doing an RV, like a bus, you don't need the extension because the height of the ceiling is different. Just line up. Again, this is just for, see what I have close. I have a collar, I'll tighten down. I'll also add a collar to the inside, tighten that up so I don't have any vent leaks. And then the roof portion, the termination, will fit on here. Right like this, and then I'm gonna have a little tilt, or angle to it when it goes out of the roof, and it gets the pitch of the roof. So basically, I wanted to see what this dimension is, and that will allow me to set the height of the furnace from the wall. 55 inches to the center. 56 inches. I'll be happy with this right here, I believe. Went outside and measured where the seams were on this roofing, and it lines up with the 23-inch mark. I decided that I'm going to give myself 4 inches, I'm going at 27 mark basically, to drill my 4-inch hole. It's a 3-inch pipe, so I want to have a clearance of 1 inch around it, a 1/2 inch around each side, I should say. And I'm also going to be on my second board up to drill it, and that'll keep me away from the edge of the outside, and also keep me away from the wall inside. My stud is really close, right here. I have a stud, and I can see the nail hole right there. So I know I have a stud really close to this. So with the 4 inches, I'm going to be 1 inch away from that as well. So the clearances are going to be tight, but it should all work out. So I'm going to drill the hole in. The hole drilled. Now this tiny house has been insulated with rock wool insulation, and I'm going to attempt to use the same hole saw to kind of circle out of the rock wool. It should work. I haven't done this trick before, but I'm gonna give it a try. I don't want to really use a drill at first because I don't know how it's going to react. It's going to wire it up or anything like that. I want my hole in the roof sheathing to be centered as close as possible with this interior hole. I'm going to use my hole saw as a guide. The rock wool is going to keep me in place a little bit too because it's pretty packed. So it should help me as well. And I'm only going to go in just enough to get the drill started. And then I use another drill. I guess I can drill through the sheathing. Take my 4-inch hole saw out, put in a longer drill bit so I can get up to the ceiling. I'm gonna follow that hole, the 4-inch, put it in there. I'm using an undersized drill bit. I want an undersized drill bit because I want to have a clean hole to go through, but it doesn't wobble. So now I'm gonna go outside and finish drilling through the ceiling or the roof with this 4-inch saw. So I have the hole in the roof and the insulation has been cut away. So I'm going to do something to make sure it's a little more protected from the heat. So I'm gonna put a heat shield up there. And how I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna take some aluminum flashing and I'm gonna put it in this hole up here, and then measure it and cut it to the dimension. It'll fit right on in there. So let's do that. So all I'm gonna do is just basically wrap this tighter than 4 inches, and then it will unwind once I put it in there. To fit snugly in place. I need to make sure I get all the way up before I let go of it. And it's just going to go ahead and naturally fit. Now it looks like a dryer vent. I'm take my pencil and go around it, and then I'm going to add a 1/2 inch to that dimension because I haven't cut the roof sheathing off yet, and I want to get past that as well. Now when I take this down and cut it and make it flush to the pine here, I'm not going to cut off this excess. I'm going to leave the excess wrap in there. So I trim the flashing up so it's a 1/2 inch excess. And that 1/2 inch excess will be taken up as soon as I cut the exterior roof sheathing off. I'm not going to take this excess off of here. You see this overlaps begins here. It comes all the way over to here. But that will just help keep the pressure on the insulation and keep it in place. Inside, I'll have a finish ring that I'll be putting it on here. And so you won't be able to see the aluminum flashing. It'll act as a barrier between rock wool, which is a non-flammable insulation to begin with, doesn't catch on fire. But I still want to keep the heat away from the pine board and the roof sheathing that's up there. That's more flammable than the insulation. So as soon as it stops raining here, I'm gonna go drill that hole up there, make it 4 inches, and push this up there, and put my finish ring on there, and move on to the outside. So this is a roof termination assembly. It's held on by 6 fasteners. You see that it has a flange on it, and there's this rubber, we'll call it rubber seal that goes below it. So these are fasteners that come with it. I'm going to change them out for my fasteners that I use to put on the seamed roofing. It's a little bit longer shank. These also don't provide a seal on top. The likelihood of them leaking is pretty small, I understand that. They don't look like a completely, well, they do look pretty flat, but I'd rather know that I have a sealing washer up there. So I'm going to use that. It has a metal washer on the outside and a rubber washer on the inside, and it will compress just like when I put my seamed roofing on. And then that way I know that that will be a waterproof hole. Getting up on the roof, this is the hole I drilled from the inside. I then put a 6-inch diameter hole layout on the roof with a pencil, and that way I can make sure I center my exhaust correctly once I cut this 4-inch hole out. So now I'm going to drill this hole out. Alright, so there's the clouds out there. Drilled up the hole. I'm going to pull this in a little bit and push it up to where it'll fit nicely and flush. With my roof termination fitting in, the inside is complete. The walls are fireproof with the flashing. Now I'm going to take another measurement and see how far it would be for the exhaust venting. So I position the exhaust to be kind of in the position I want it to be when I'm finished. Now I'm going to add the next piece or take a measurement from there to see how close I am to my final position. I'm pretty close right where I want to be. I can pull this down and take some length out of it. Want to make it longer. Now I want to make sure I'm centered on the flange up there. I'm going to use my level here to tell me where I'm at. So coming down from the roof termination, I want to be center on this wall so that I have a nice straight exhaust vent. So I've marked the center line going down the wall. And then I will center my furnace using those lines right there. Drill my pilot holes, line this up. On YouTube, I have rough installed my Newport furnace. It'll be fed by a gas line down here, come up through here, and then I'll go to a 12-volt plug-in that I'll put in right over here. This is just a rough install, make sure everything fits. I still have to clean all of the protective coating off of it. It's all over the place. One of the worst things about these things, from what I've seen, is that just trying to get all this protective film off. But I didn't want to install it or rough install it without it because I didn't want to scratch it. The person who owns this probably wouldn't like that. So my suggestion is, if you're going to put one of these in, leave this on, with plastic on, make sure you have everything where you want it, then take it off. So part 2 will be me. We'll light this thing up and see how it works. Thanks for watching part 1.